Hello everyone. That's just a little bit of the ice breaking. Okay, just hope you guys are awake and can hear me well. The audio is perfect, so the quality of the workshop should not be interrupted. It should be fine. It should be fine. Again, hello everyone, and welcome everyone to our first training workshop of the RMIT FinTech Blockchain Competition 2022. This is the second time that we have hosted this competition for university undergraduates and high school students from all over Vietnam. We are looking forward to you joining the competition and delivering your possible $1 million innovative ideas for the future. So basically, it's like a Shark Tank, okay? So my name, again, is Max. Just introduce a little bit introduction about myself. I'm currently a head of business of RMIT Vietnam FinTech Club, which is also a co-host of this event. And I'm also a project leader for this RFBC training workshop too. So just to get you guys know what you guys going to go through for today's training workshop, we're going to go through 6 agendas. First one, MC welcoming, what I'm doing right now. Second thing, warm-up quiz, just to kickstart our brain after yesterday's sleepless night playing League of Legends, grinding deadlines, studying for university tests. Third one, the workshop, which is our official content for today, and will be presented by our beloved guest speaker, Mr. Đức Trọng. I will introduce him later, and then after that, we will have a break time and a lucky draw for a lucky person. We're gonna have, gonna give away our RFBC merch, something like this, something like our lanyard like this. So yeah, if you guys are lanyard collectors, so just stay tuned to them, and then just play the lucky draw. It's quite easy too. And lastly will be the Q&A, which is the most important one too. Personally, I think that we do not have a lot of chances. We do not have a lot of opportunities like this, to be able to talk to the guest speakers, talk to the people that are very experts in such a new industry like blockchain, right? So especially when you are doing a test like this, a competition, we should know and understand, expectations, something that is not very revealing. We do not tell our rubrics, but then you need to ask for it. Okay, so Q&A section important. You need to stay there, stay tuned to them. But without further ado, I would just have a very quick introduction before we dive into this workshop. Just in case you guys don't know what's RFBC, which is RMIT FinTech Blockchain Competition. It is an annual national competition inviting current high school and university students to propose solutions for real-world problems using blockchain and FinTech. The mission of RMIT FinTech Blockchain Competition is to promote awareness of the blockchain FinTech applications for Vietnamese students and enhance the participants' practical skills and knowledge in real-life problems. The competition is co-hosted by School of Business and Management SPM, RMIT FinTech Club, and RMIT Crypto Hub. And then we are luckily sponsored by our beloved sponsors, Binance, Archie's Global, One Block Labs, and Metalook magazines. Now that all the introductions of the all-important parties have been introduced, we are coming to the most entertaining and probably the most interactive sections, which is Kahoot quiz. Just remember this Kahoot quiz, just see on the screen, you guys can scan or just go straight to the link provided on the screen, as you can see. This is an old school quiz. Probably everyone has done this before. But in case you guys don't know, just go hop into that link, www.kahoot.it, and then, or if you have a Kahoot app, just click on that, use your device, anything, iPad, iPhone, or a computer, type in the game pin 6331472, and then we should be good to go. I will do this, I'll be waiting 1 minute for this because we have time limitations. Sadly, I cannot wait too much because we have lunch, and I'm quite hungry too. Hopefully everyone should be good. And just a disclaimer, the name should be appropriate, please. And this is just keep everything professional. And then I will see you guys in 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I think the time is up. And we are at 48 people out of 80. This is an impressive number, to be honest. Because all the Kahoot I quizzed in the past, only 20%, only 20% participation. Okay, just make sure that your name is on the screen so that we know when to start, okay? So I guess we're going to settle at number 47, okay? Because time is running out, and we do not want to go through your and interrupt your lunch time. So we're gonna just kick right in. Come on, team. All right. Welcome. So the first question should be, what is the initial application of blockchain? Just in case you guys don't know, P2P is actually stand for peer-to-peer finance application. That's the first sentence. It's quite quick. Time is running out, boys and girls. Okay, congratulations. I see most of us are at 31 answers for P2P finance applications, which is correct answer though. Congratulations, Tan, Thảo, Tiên, Tú, and Do or Do. You're on top of the scoreboard. Congratulations, and hopefully you guys can still keep this position at the very last round. Next round, please. Okay, second question. What is smart contract? Quite straightforward. I believe that everyone should be fine with this question. And if you do not, so just feel free. This is what we are here. This is why we're here. We are here for learning, right? Smart contract. Ethereum. Okay, 46 answers. Okay, 20 people. Oh, this is interesting. Yes, in the past, whenever I see all these, I would just definitely go to all these. That's just my trick of doing my university test, but that it doesn't work here. Okay, anyways, it's the first answer. Set a security contract with the terms of agreement. Hey guys, can a team go to the next slide? Next question, please. Oh, Tan topping her score and still keeping her position, or him. I don't want to assume your gender. We're going to the next question. Why has blockchain has not been mainstream? Okay, 48 answers. Oh, all of these, okay. The same old thing. All these can either be, it's either be a very great answer or either be a very bad answer. That's just the extremes, Well, welcome Jung to the top four. Okay, we're having some changes. We're going to the fourth question, right? The fourth questions. Probably the last, and then we'll have two last questions. Hopefully you guys can do this. Blockchain helps in verification, traceability of multiple transactions, needing verifications and traceability. So true or false, 50% chance. Oh, this is kind of like a tricky word, like whenever I read this again, I get confused too. So it's okay. Okay, interestingly, everyone got it correct. Most of us got it correct. 6 players hit answer streak free. Okay, so 6 players got a hat trick, let's say. Congratulations, all these people on top of the scoreboard. Jung, Ting, Parroted, Namla, and Shin. We're going to the last question. Last question, boys, like girls. Multi-select. This is a tricky one, though. Do you think blockchain will compete with AI in the future? Very tricky. I don't think even like tutors or teachers can actually do this like completely 100% correct. So just feel free. Okay, for answers. For people stay with me. Okay, that's I mean, like, this is a very tricky question. Of course, every answer should be correct, just except for I don't care, because I mean, like, if you go into these competitions, blockchain competitions, you join this, I hope that everyone cares about this so that we can, you know, have our commitment and stuff and stay to the very end of the competition. Okay, I hope this is the most interesting part. Can you just go to the end and see who's the winner? Okay, I'm seeing MH. Congratulations, MH. Congratulations, Parroted, and congratulations. I hope who's this? Sunmin. Wow, cause I am surprised because last time I see you at tops. Okay, okay. So just whoever's on top of the scoreboard, just stay tuned. Just stay tuned so that just stay tuned to our very next slide of presentation. Present slide, which will we will tell to you the procedure. Just basically proactively contact us through this email, rfbc@rmit.edu.vn, and say that, hey, my name is Sunman. You know, like I received first prize. Can I get a merch, please? By tomorrow, by next week, I don't know. Like, just really up to you. But then we really need to require you to proactively contact us so that we know who is the winner. But then I think that's it for the Kahoot quiz, and I just hope that everyone is like stay awake, and you know, get your brain started, and then we're going to go back to reality that we are having a training workshop to host. We hope that the quiz has you know, entertained you and yeah, just help you guys to revise what you know about blockchain and fintech. In fact, this workshop will be conducted by Mr. Đức Jung, who is now an APAC Growth and Operation Manager for Binance. He has 15 years of experiences in technology, banking, and blockchain businesses. His unique background in IT and finance allows him to develop digital strategies and, you know, having follow-ups through to execute and launch a lot of projects. Before Binance, he has held managerial roles at international banks, consulting firms. He has master in economics from ESCP Europe in France, a master in computer science from Bleking Institute of Technology in Sweden, and certificate in financial technology from the Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania. That's amazing, Mr. Đức. Say, can we just all, you know, say hi to Mr. Đức, our beloved guest speaker, in the chat by you typing hello or hi, just to we want to express that feeling, that greeting feelings to our guest speaker. Hello, Mr. Đức. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you, Han, for the very kind introduction, and I can already see the excitement from our audiences today. You know, it's a Sunday, and sometimes people go out for you know, things, but yes, I see the excitement, and you are here, you know, to listen to me. So it's my privilege to be here. Yes, thank you.
Yes, I mean, like 87 people are here for you, Mr. Đức, and I mean, from such a background, we are positive that this workshop will help you to better understand blockchain and realize there are so many interesting layers to this technology, far more than just cryptocurrency. Okay, so before we start, I just have one very little question for you. Can you tell us of why blockchain is such a hot topic for today, you know, generation?
Yes, you know, I think that is your question you asked is about my talk today, actually. So we will cover very briefly about what blockchain is, why it is so important, why it is revolutionary through my experience working in banks and technology company, and why blockchain can solve so many issues that the world we are facing today. And yes, our audience, you know, young students, they already appreciate the importance and the trend of blockchain, you know, which so I think we'll go through the talk, and then you will understand why. Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
And then
I
you
think
are
it's
right
fair
here.
enough. Yeah, I think it's fair enough. And without further ado, I just hope all of us here, have pens and papers, iPad, iPhone, anything, just to take notes of every, like contents, because all these contents will help you to become the champion of RFBC. So I think now the stage is yours, Mr. Duc, and good luck.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay, so we will go quickly about the evolution of finance, going back about 300 years ago. So before we have money, so money was actually originated from China in 1290, and Marco Polo, who was an explorer, he went to China and he introduced the idea of banknote back to Europe. But back then, before we have money, what we have was barter. It was the oldest form of market exchange. So if you want to, you have goods, if you want to exchange for other goods. So here we have a picture of a person. One has, a fish, another one has a lamb leg or, lamb shank. And they're trying to exchange goods and services with each other. And it was quite difficult because you don't have a medium of exchange and the value of it, So barter was trading, and then the system was very inefficient due to the matching. And with money, it is much easier used as an exchange to solve the matching issue. If you look at it, barter was actually peer-to-peer. So before there was money, people will have to produce their own goods and services and trading with each other. So arguably, the earliest form of finance was actually decentralized finance. Yes, can we go to the next one? Yeah. So once we have money, money basically have three purposes, and all economists would agree that there are three purposes of money. First, it is a unit of account, so it measures the value of goods and services. A medium of exchange you can use to buy goods and service without direct exchange of goods and services, like barter. And it is also a store of value. So, a 500,000 note, that you are storing 500,000, even though the value of Vietnamese dong fluctuate, but you store value in the money there. Thank you. Next slide. So, and since then, we see the evolution of technology in finance. So what it is that technology over time play a much more important role, and a lot of the innovation of finance is actually incorporating elements of technology into the finance process. So in 1981, Western Union was the first money transfer, and today there is still a significant money transfer. So if you have goods and services in a market, you can go and exchange cash. But if you are trading internationally, so if you have oil, you want to export oil to Vietnam, you have to go through system where they can transfer money overseas, cross-border. And Western Union was one of the company that can help you to do that. Many years later, in 1950, there was credit cards. So basically, before that, you have to, if you want to buy something personally, you have to bring cash with you. But with a bank card, now you can just bring the card and then you use it to swipe at the point of sales and spend money without worrying about the cash. Eliminating a lot of the issue about matching, changes, and also it's more secure. Fighting fraud and things. In 1967, the first ATM was introduced in London by Barclays Bank. So again, it is basically giving you more convenience with the underlying cash transaction. In 1983, there is telephone banking by a bank in Scotland. So if you want to know your how much money you still have in your account, or if you want to do some simple transaction banking, you can just call them up with a telephone and then they do some certain transactions for you. So all these are very basic banking services, but as you see through, it takes several years, and there was pioneers in this space. And of course, later you have 1994 is internet banking and online banking. So you don't need to phone a person. You can just log in with your account and on your PC, and you can do it. The services basically, I think, is quite common today. And from 2005, there is chip and pin, and today Vietnam already have most of the banks, if not all of the banks, already provide you with chip and pin, contactless payment for your cards. Yeah. So you can see that technology play a much more and evolving role in finance over the years, and as time goes by, there are more technology in finance. Yeah. Thank you. Next slide. Yeah. Yes, so that was the first observation. So finance incorporate more technology into the process, and the second trend is, even though finance started out as a decentralized finance with the barter market, over time it become much more centralized. It's well documented, and today there are quite a few problems with centralized finance. It has become too big to fail because of the size and then the domino effect of banking system. So one of the issue is centralized control. So centralized banking system is highly concentrated, and the national central bank control the currency. The second issue is limited access. So today, despite in many countries, a bank account or internet banking is quite a basic thing, but there are still 1.7 billion people are unbanked or underbanked. And then many entrepreneurs, they use credit card to finance their business. So if you go into some of the websites of the banks, this bank will they will say that they are not lending money out to entrepreneurs, small businesses. And they encourage entrepreneur to use the credit card to finance their business. And of course, with credit card, the interest rate is much higher. And also another thing is, if we are not supporting these SME, the innovation, the Google, the Amazon of today, how can we have these technology company very successful, very innovative company of the future? If you only fund very well funded projects where there is very clear return on investment, then you are not investing enough on innovations. And thirdly, even those banks have been evolving and applying so many elements of technology into the process, but it's still very inefficient, very opaque the way that operate. So for example, if you swipe a credit card, they will take 3% out of the merchants. So when you pay for a cup of coffee, like a Starbucks for $5, then 3% of that, the bank will charge to Starbucks. Of course, you will not see the price the same for you, but for merchant, they have to absorb this cost. For a wire transfer, it can take 5 to 7%. And it takes several days to settle a transaction. So for if you send money or fund within a country, it is easier. But if you send it cross border, you will see the pain of it. It takes a few days to settle a transaction. It's very inefficient. It's very slow, and then through the years, even though the banks claim that they invest a lot heavily into technology, into AI, but there are issues with fraud, chargeback, and there are still a lot of issues with security and hacking on the time. And there is no microtransaction. So if you want to use very small amount of value, the bank is not interested in it. They don't want you to open a bank account with them just to put very little money. And sometimes you need it. Sometimes you want to know your kids to understand finance, to want to learn about a bit about banking, how to manage money. You want them to put money in the bank. But today, bank they're not interested in these kind of customers. and difficult to get paid as well. Yes, thank you. Next slide. Yeah, and as banks grow bigger and they are more concentrated, there are fewer institutions. But the issue with interop, so the way that banks interact with each other, is also an issue. They are very silo, not just among institutions, but among within these institutions themselves, also very silo. So this department do not talk to the other department, not so much. Yeah, and then this the bank in this country, the same bank, they also don't talk to their colleagues in different countries. And very difficult to move money from one banking institution to another. And if you want to move bank from non-bank, it's also very difficult. And of course, lastly is opacity. Banking is very hard to understand. Sometimes there is a tendency to keep it that way, so it is easier for them. If you try to enter into a contract with a bank and try to read it and understand it, you will see. And they also rely on very costly regulation and promise of bailout in case they go bankrupt. And this is very strange in the economy. If you own a company and it go bankrupt, why the government has to do it? But banking is actually the only sector commonly when you go fail, and when you fail, people will reward you. We have to bail you out. Yeah, so those are the problem with the centralized finance system that we have today. Yes. Next slide, please. Yes. So of course, blockchain, and the topic of today is decentralized finance, or the short form is DeFi. Is a new vision for banking and financial services that is based on peer-to-peer payment through blockchain technology. The technology is of inclusion, whereby anyone can pay a flat fee to use and obtain the benefits and enter into the enter into the finance system. Next slide, please. Yeah, so let's go quickly about the origin of decentralized finance. Until recently, we've always needed a central body, bank, stock market, government, to settle the vital questions of who owns the money, who controls this company, and who has the right to vote in this election. And now we have a very small piece of pure mathematics, that computer code, and that help to solve all these problems, of the money issuance and then control through Bitcoin. That was the first form of decentralized finance that is popular and used today. Yeah, thank you. Next slide, please. Yeah. Can you go? There was a picture. There is a clip there. Can you please play?
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital currency. Bitcoins are digital coins you can send through the internet. Compared to other alternatives, Bitcoins have a number of advantages. Bitcoins are transferred directly from person to person via the net, without going through a bank or clearinghouse. This means that the fees are much lower. You can use them in every country. Your account cannot be frozen, and there are no prerequisites or arbitrary limits. Let's look at how it works. Several currency exchanges exist where you can buy and sell Bitcoins for dollars, euros, and more. Your Bitcoins are kept in your digital wallet on your computer or mobile device. Sending Bitcoins is as simple as sending an email, and you can purchase anything with Bitcoin. The Bitcoin network is secured by individuals called miners. Miners are rewarded newly generated Bitcoins for verifying transactions. After transactions are verified, they are recorded in a transparent public ledger. Bitcoin opens up a whole new platform for innovation. The software is completely open source and anyone can review the code. Bitcoin is changing finance the same way the web changed publishing. When everyone has access to a global market, great ideas flourish. Bitcoins are a great way for businesses to minimize transaction fees. It doesn't cost anything to start accepting them, and it's easy to set up. There are no chargebacks, and you'll get additional business from the Bitcoin economy. For more information about Bitcoin, visit weusecoins.com. What is Bitcoin?
Yes. So yes, that was a very short video about Bitcoin. That was actually the first popular platform for decentralized finance. So it has a lot of advantages, such as it eliminates the problem with digital currency in the past about the issue of double spend, and every transaction is actually kept in a ledger that is public, so anyone and everyone can look at it, and it is impossible to change. It has limit of 21 million Bitcoins, and it uses sovereignty, and it is quite portability. So it's quite easy for you. You can have an app on your phone and you can download, and basically you can use Bitcoin to send money overseas, and the fees, and it's much faster, unlike the centralized finance system we introduced earlier. Can we go to the next one? Yes, and actually Bitcoin has in last year become the fiat currency of a country called El Salvador. So they are actually, and when El Salvador does that, quite a few economists, they refute the idea. So in this slide, there is a quote I attribute to Franco, who's an economist from Harvard, and he said that he doesn't understand why El Salvador doing that. And the argument was that cryptocurrency are not backed by a reserve or by a reputation of well-established institutions such as government or trusted corporations. So some economists, they still think in a way that, you know, for money to be fiat currency of a country, it has to be backed by a government, you know, or a trusted corporation. But if you look at the three function and purposes of money, a medium of exchange, a store of value, basically Bitcoins can serve all of that purpose. And El Salvador is the first country to adopt Bitcoin. There are a few others in the process of doing so, and I can't see why Bitcoin cannot be the cryptocurrency and use, you know, in parallel with the fiat currency already existing today. So for your information as well, El Salvador, they don't have a central bank to do monetary policy. They use the US dollar. So they adopt a second currency in the form of Bitcoin. Yeah, thanks. For the next slide, please. Yes, so let's shift a bit into fintech and what fintech is and what it can do. So over the years, we have seen many applications of technology into finance. So fintech is that, to describe the trend, it is a catch-on term to any technology that is used to augment, streamline, or digitalize, disrupt the traditional financial services. So, actually, one of my observations, this is my own, my own idea, hasn't been verified yet, but I just put it here for you. I think, you know, fintech is just a way for banks to actually boost their return on equity, so that the bank can appear more profitable. But they are taking more risk. So a few leaders in banking, they, for example, Jenkins or Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan, they claim that ROE, you know, is the most important and the central measure of performance in banking industry. But you can boost return on equity in many ways, and basically taking on more risk to boost your ROE. So in the case of this bank, you know, one of my observation and my guess is that to boost return on equity, ROE is earning over equity, but equity is assets minus liability in the balance sheet, right? So what they do is they may take away more assets, you know. So once you have, if you have a lot of IT system in your bank, the fixed asset of the server, you know, the people managing the system are quite costly. So they will outsource this IT function to a fintech company outside of the bank. And instead of taking this risk, they outsource the risk to this fintech company. So their ROE is boosted. They appear to be a better bank, return better ROE for the customer. If you look at many fintech companies, all of these are actually doing very simple tasks of facilitating payment. So PayPal was founded in the year 2000 as a way to speed up payment. And today, the most valuable fintech company is Stripe. What they do is also do payment. It is estimated in various reports that 60% of investment into fintech is actually in the area of payment. A very simple thing, you know, very basic thing of banking system. But why majority of money is still investing in to solve the payment problem and not something else? Something that Bitcoin has solved, you know, very efficiently, you know, with very low fees, very fast cross-border. And so fintech is actually running on the same infrastructure and the business model of existing banking system. So sometimes people say, you know, fintech will change, will innovate, will disrupt, but I'm very skeptical about that. They run on the same infra. They complement the existing banking model. They are helping the bank, complementing. I don't think they innovate that much. Yeah. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So yes, so if fintech is not that very helpful, you know, that's why we need more blockchain and more cryptocurrency. One of the issue of the existing IT infra of the bank is they are still running as so the way that they manage information is in the past. So today, most of the IT systems that you are having, the business model of today is the Internet of Information. So what they do is they, you know, imagine you are sending your friends, you know, an email or a document or file. You know, it is very different from sending money. Basically, system like Facebook and Google, they are facilitating sending information. So if the information is duplicated, if the information is a bit wrong, you know, there won't be any issue with it. But imagine if you send your money, your friend's money, you know, it can't be duplicated, right? You want to send money only once and you don't want to send twice. So that is the issue of double spending that blockchain already solved very well today. That most of the IT system, if not all, the way that they are running is still managing system as if you are sending information and not sending money. Yeah, thank you. The next slide. Yes, so we have seen example of blockchain applied in cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin. A little bit more overview about the blockchain technology behind Bitcoin that made it possible. Blockchain, in a very simple way, it seems simple term, is a shared immutable ledger that processes the recording of transaction. So a ledger is a shared immutable ledger. Think of it as an Excel file where you store your transaction, on your information in there. It is shared. If you collaborate, if you work on a document, you know, you want to make sure that it is open for everyone. And if somebody changes something, you can track that, right? So you are using track and change on Excel or Word, but blockchain make it very efficient. But at a very simple way of thinking about it, it's just a very good Excel file that you can share with each other, and it track the data on there. Nobody can change without the whole team agreeing on the change. That is the way that you're tracking information is valuable, because you are actually tracking assets on this Excel file rather than information. Information can be duplicated, sometimes a bit wrong, no problem, but asset, you want to make sure it is the only and the verified asset of it. Imagine if you have a house and somebody say, oh, you have two houses, or a friend have two houses. It's not fun, right? Yeah. And because virtually anything of any value can be tracked and traded on the blockchain network, it can reducing risk and cutting costs for everyone involved. Blockchain is actually ideal for delivering information because it is immediate, it can be shared, it's very transparent, and stored on a ledger that cannot be changed. So yeah, and access only by permission network members. Yeah, thank you. Next slide. Yeah, so just to sum up the three key features of blockchain. Firstly, distributed, multiple copies typically exist. So think about it when you collaborate on a group assignment, you are having one Excel file. It is this distributed copy among themselves, among yourself. Is there decentralized, so no person has a whole of an Excel file is actually shared among you, and immutable. So every track and change is on the Excel file can be tracked, and who exactly who changed it. What is the information is on there. What it does is it leads to trust, accountability, transparency, and accessibility. At any point, you can have access to the document. Who made the changes, and it's very transparent. Sometimes some information in bank is very hard to access, but for blockchain and Bitcoin, all the transaction is actually recorded, and the data is publicly available on the internet for anyone to see. You can trace it back several years. Sometimes for banking system, 10 years, 20 years, they are allowed to shred the document, become irrelevant. But for blockchain, you can keep hold of it. The copy is shared among the many computers that are available on the internet. The record is 20 years later, you can still access it. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yes, and of course, many people think cryptocurrency or Bitcoin is the only field or the only example. But today, blockchain is already applied in several fields. It actually helped the UN to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So earlier, we already talked about the issue of identity. So despite banking has been, for a few hundred years, today there are still like 1.7 billion people that do not have access to a banking account or underbank. Similarly with identity, because these people may or may not have a legal identity. If you don't have a ID, how can you open a bank account? And in many countries, it is a privilege to have an ID. So with blockchain, they allows you to access into the system with a mobile phone or a PC. And it gives you an identity so that you can join into the network and become a member of it. So blockchain is also very useful as a way to grant and manage digital identity, especially with the nature of it that is publicly available, shared, distributed, and then cannot be changed. We talked about financial inclusion before, right? So banking system, despite the size of it, many times larger than the GDP of the country, but it has no financial, for the bottom of the pyramid, the inclusion is also an issue. And blockchain can provide the unbanked, the millions and billions of unbanked or underbanked with access to financial services through a mobile phone. So very easy, so in Africa, there was a company called M-Pesa. They are very successful in providing mobile banking services, and I hope blockchain can even power that more. Another area where blockchain is applied is through donor assistance. So cryptocurrency can be used to channel funds to specific causes and communities. Of course, all of that is tracked. So today, sometimes you receive ODA or assistance or donor from rich country to a different country. You don't know what the money is spent. With blockchain technology, on the transaction is tracked there forever. Later on, you can look at the transaction and see what address of the wallet this money was spent to. Another thing is environment. So blockchain can be used to check or store or manage toxic waste, transport, and data sharing in the waste sector. So it is a huge area there. Yeah. Thank you. Next slide, please. Yes. So we go through some areas where blockchain can be used for UN to achieve and sustainable development goals. Here I can give you an example about blockchain. This actually because we talk about an example where blockchain where banking is not very efficient in terms of supporting entrepreneurs in funding innovations and funding innovative business idea. Some of the area where the UN they have applied blockchain technology into funding some of the noble sustainable clean finance is is here. So blockchain can solve quite a bit of mismatch in terms of capital supply and the developers need. So for example, in the case of early stage risk capital, bank is not interested, and blockchain can become a platform to for investor. If they have appetite to invest in this idea, they can do that. So the UN, what they do is they standardize the performance and financial metric for investor to holistically assess the performance of the different projects, and they automate the matchmaking process. So before that, if you are in Vietnam and you want to invest in a clean, noble projects in sometime in Africa, it's very hard for you to do so. But with a blockchain financing system, you can here in Vietnam and you access to the information. Yeah. Also, bank is when you go through bank, you know that the investment cost is quite high because there are people who source bankable projects, in area where it's hard to reach market, you don't have anyone there, and the transaction cost in legal fees and third party to do the due diligence. With the digitalization process, it is a bit easier. You build the systems and then it is there for you to run, and it become a platform for the investor and project developer to match and find each other and connect through this blockchain platform. Yeah, next slide, please. Yes. So today the complex framework, and today these financing issue suffer through the complex framework and standard. There are quite a bit of standardized rules and process, information disclosure, certification that is very difficult for parties to collaborate. Hopefully with the help of blockchain smart contract, it will automatically build these on the platform already. Yeah. And also because of the nature of this bankable energy project is, the lack of it. When you have a platform, it is easier for projects to list themselves on and find investors. I'm not saying blockchain can solve everything. Blockchain is just a platform, but it can help and at least solve some of the issues that we list here that is eccentric to banking system that we have today. Next slide. Yeah, so and lastly, I want to give an example about blockchain for agri-food traceability, because Vietnam is still primarily a country of agriculture, and actually, agriculture is a main source of income for most of the world's poorest people living in rural areas, less than $1 a day, and food fraud has resulted in damage, huge damage for these people. So basically, these companies are exploiting the poorest, in the most rural area. Yeah, and to resolve this issue, existingly they rely on a third-party certification. But actually, the more certification you have and you require, it doesn't lead to more transparency, but it leads to more opacity. Similarly to banking system, there are so many laws, so many regulations, so many certifications. It becomes inefficient, paralysis in differentiation and evaluating the credibility of the individual certification. And having said that, 70% of the consumer around the world, they are willing to pay for premium brands for transparent information. And these kind of markets, a lack of transparency, rely on third-party certification. There are so many certification that is these areas are very good for application of blockchain for traceability. So if you look for a project to do, look for some markets that has similar trades as the agri-food market. Yeah. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. Yes. So in Vietnam, our Prime Minister also had a decision, an official decision to basically need to have a portal and to do traceability for agri-food commodities. So when you have such a portal and you apply blockchain technologies, basically all the parties in the supply chain will have to be involved in these traceability systems, and you can trace on the way from the seed on the way to the end product that is selling to our consumers. In Vietnam, there are some good progress with the project, in other areas as well, in agriculture. In other countries, for example, also in the US, Walmart or IBM, they also demonstrated the use of blockchain to track the provenance of mangoes. Yeah, so the US, they don't grow a lot of mangoes, right? But they have used quite a lot, to import and then show the traceability of these goods on the way from the sourcer to the store, a Walmart store. Yeah, and when they use this blockchain system, right, the result was spectacular improvement in the efficiency of provenance of identification. Previously, with all the certification and all the system that they already have and silo, they reduce the time from 7 days to 2.2 seconds. And I also have the source here for you to have a look at, from UNDP. Yeah, but I sum up some of the information here. Yes. So I think that is that conclude mostly my talk for today. Yeah. So just a final word for you to sum it up. So blockchain is actually a technology. It's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin uses blockchain technology, and it is the first example to use it and put it in practice and very popular. But Bitcoin is an example of blockchain. It is not blockchain itself. Blockchain also has its own risk, which you may well know. But I think it is understandable that blockchain is not going away with all the advantages of it, and we already see it apply in so many areas and fields, not just in finance, but in helping the UN to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. I look forward to having and see more areas where myself as a technologist, I would like to see blockchain even more important and help our world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Đức. I hope that you have noted down all of it. Now that our guest speaker has done his presentation, we are going to have a very short lucky draw section. I mean, the rule is simple, but before going to the lucky draw sections, I just want you guys to, just have a round of applause to Mr. Đức for such an amazing presentation by dropping in that clapping icon, that clapping icon, so that, just express your appreciation to Mr. Đức hardworking. That's such an amazing presentation. Hoping that you guys understand, the origin of blockchain, as well as the further deeper layer of how blockchain is applied to many things, especially in sustainability goals, which is one of the key issues that a lot of us are not very aware of. I mean, like we are aware of, but we do not prioritize of solving it. People are chasing for money. People are being chasing for something that destroy the environment. So that is why this is also one of the mission for RFBC is to raise up that awareness. So it's just to help our generation as well as alpha generation, the generation after Gen Z. So that's called alpha, just to be aware more of the environment. Okay, so that without further ado, I just hope that you guys enjoy the workshop. And then we're going to go to the lucky draw section. How it works is going to be exactly like most of the Facebook posts. That's what they do. So you just need to enter a random number, a number of your choice, a lucky number that you think you have. You think that you will win this prize. Just type in from 1 to 85. Okay, so it's just in between from 1 to 85, which is our current participation number. So just type in, yes, I'm seeing 28, 30, 34, 13, 81, 15, around that anyway. So the mechanism of how this is going to work is going to be like we are going to randomly generate a random number, as you can see on the screen. When we press the button start, okay, whenever we press the button start, we will generate a number, and that number will be a lucky number. And how we're going to choose a winner is that a person who is to write that number or a number nearest to it will be the person that is lucky for today's workshop, and you get a free merch for basically just sitting here listening, enjoying this moment, you know, like getting a free prize. Or if any not everyone has the number appear on the screen. For example, no one has number 1. I'm just pop out there. I don't know if there's a number 1. Okay, I'm not filming or something, anything. But anyways, if there's no one choosing number 1, then we're going to choose a person who is who has the number nearest to it. And the rule of first come, first serve apply to this too. So if there are 2 people having the same number, we're going to choose the person that, you know, commented first. So that's how it works. That's exactly how it works in live streaming, stream games, or anything, Facebook giveaways, posts. So without further ado, I think we are ahead of time. Actually, we are 10 minutes ahead of time, which is perfect. Excellent. We have more time for Q&A section, which is the most important section. So now, please enter your numbers. I'm seeing a lot of numbers here. I'll give you guys another 10 seconds before we actually start the wheel of fortune. Even though it doesn't give you money, but give you free prize. Why not, right? It's not like live give you a free lemon every time, but this time we actually give you free lemons, free merch. Okay, after 10 seconds, I'll be back. Okay, I think it's up. The chat stopped scrolling for me. I'm seeing a lot of numbers. I'm seeing from the very top, it's ranging from 60 to 10. And yes, we're going to team. Please press that start button. Okay, the wheel of fortune is ready. I just want to make this more interesting. Okay, can you guys tell me when to stop? Okay, just guys tell me when to stop. Press 2, like random number. Just press 2. If you no, just say something like stop. Something like stop. To stop. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Stop behind again. Let's go. 83. 83. Okay. Let's see. I'll go through all the list. Okay, I'll go through all the list. I'm seeing 13. 30, 45, 25, 10, you are way off, boy. 16, 18, okay. 30, the nearest number is number, I believe is number, right now I'm seeing is 75. Number 75 is the nearest right now from Mr. Young. 46, 58, 68, 87. Okay, let's do a little bit of math here. 58, Oh yeah, 87 is not in the range. I'm sorry. Do or do. I'm sorry. 87 is out of 85, is out of the range. So we do not count that. 81. So far it's 81 from Miss Thảo Nguyên. And I think the winner should be number 81. Number 81 from Miss Thảo Nguyên, and congratulations to Miss Thảo Nguyên, you are a lucky person today. And yes, again, the procedure of having the merge, we're going to give you by having you proactively contacting our email so that we can confirm that you are well received the prize, you are the person who received the lucky draw, and then we're going to drop shipping you the merch. However, because we are ahead of time and we have a lot of merches to give away, just because so our hosts are very friendly and we love to give away merches. So we're going to do another round, one last round before we take a break, a 10 minutes break or 5 minutes break if you, we will decide later, okay? So anyways, second round. Right now, I just want it from, can you ranging from 1 to 100, 1 to 100? Because I love number 100 because why not, right? 100% for your test. Whew. I love that, man. Okay, 1 to 100. Can we? Okay, you guys go pressing that lucky number button. Again, Miss Thảo Nguyên, if you want to get another merge, then feel free to join. A lot of people. Okay, just because that number 83 is nearer to the extreme, it doesn't mean that this time it's going to be near the extreme. I'm seeing a lot of hundreds, and 87, 89 is really near to extremes. So yeah, just put it out there. Oh, still 18, 22, 73, 97, 36, 5. You're way up there, Mr. Ding. 33, 46, 75, 99. Okay. 73, the distinction is cool. 22, 18, 88. Okay, a lot of numbers. I have not seen a lot of numbers like this. Right after high school, I stopped taking maths. Oh, this is the first time. 80, oh, that's a lot. 80, 75, 88, 75, 75, 18, 8, 58, 29, 16, 66. Now, I guess we should roll the Wheel of Fortune, please. Go on, team. Same procedure. Whenever I see whoever chat stop, I will stop, okay? It's really up to you. It's not me scripting. Stop. 87. Let's see. Who has 87? 50, 88. Yu Hung. Okay, 88. 58, 29, 16, 66. 88 is right now on top there, like very near. 87, 80, 85. Oh, you're missing 2 more points. Long May 70, 92, 54, 88, 100 for HD, 89. Oh, the race not stopping. 88, still 88, 2 88s. Thận and the last person. I'm sorry for not remembering your name. There are too many names right now. But make sure if I see you face by face, I will make sure to remember your name. Don't worry about that. 99. Okay. So there are 2 88s. There are 2 88s. So that will be Thận and Miss who is it? Miss Yu Hung. What? So because the first come first serve rule is applied. So we are very sorry that Miss Yu Hung is not going to get the prize because Thận actually got it first. He commented first. But don't worry. We're going to have a lot of prizes later. We have a second workshop. We just having a very playful environment. Who is the 85 is nearest? No, it's actually 88. I saw 88. Just scroll up and you will see. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. That is pretty much it for the lucky draw. And congratulations again, Mr. Thận or Miss Thận. I don't want to assume your gender, especially in this era. I'll be named that. I'll be, like stuff like that happens. But then congratulations, 2 of the lucky ones. I'm very happy that all of us are still staying here, all these 83 beloved participants. And just please stay tuned to the Q&A section. As I have already told you guys earlier, in the Q&A section, this is where you're going to, understand more deeply of what you actually want to ask about. Maybe it's about real estate, maybe about blockchain, about, aerospace, anything like that, anything. Or you can even ask about how metaverse can, apply in SDG, how, what ideas are you having now? You can ask us, and then the guest speaker, Mr. Đức Trọng, will surely going to give you answers. And now it's the break time, and I will see you guys in 10 more minutes. So just please have your break. It's been a long day. It's a Sunday morning too. So yes, see you guys later. 10 minutes. 11:25. We'll be back. Okay. See ya.
The future for Vietnam is digital. In January 2020, more than 70% of Vietnam residents have access to the internet. Does your typical day look like this? These are just examples of how our life is going digital. We're entering the digital economy with, well, just a tap of the finger. Simply put, digital economy refers to all economic transactions over the internet. The backbone of the digital economy is hyperconnectivity, which means growing interconnectedness of people, organizations, and machines that results from the internet and mobile technology. That's right, you're a vital cog in the wheel of digital transformation and digitalization. The COVID-19 pandemic has seen a rapid acceleration of the digitalization of industry like never before. Digital financial market is also being transformed in the digital economy. On board with the digitalization trend, financial technology, including big data, blockchain, peer-to-peer lending, and crowdsourcing, is revolutionizing the financial services sector. At RMIT, we recognize this growing trend, and we are excited to offer the very first few courses in Vietnam tailored to this need, supported by our state-of-the-art facility and our team of dedicated and experienced lecturers, making sure you are well-equipped to capture the opportunities as well as take on the challenges of this exciting new world. We offer authentic assessments and industry engagement embedded in assessments to solve real business problems. We prepare students for the rapidly evolving workplace and digital economy. We aim to provide students with real-world skills. RMIT is a practical place of learning where students would leave ready for employment.